In this election, the big issue that's being ignored in England is independence for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. It's as if people in England think that somehow or other these are just regions of their country, which is England. They're not. They're separate countries. This is a united kingdom. Now that kingdom does actually refer to the uniting of the Scottish and English thrones. But let's be quite clear about it. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland are not the same as England. Each of them has, in their own varying ways, massive cultural traditions. Scotland and Northern Ireland have very distinctly different legal systems to the rest of the UK. They produce their own banknotes. They have separate and independent education systems, as does Wales. So this idea that there is somehow a regional or devolution policy that will be acceptable to these countries to pacify the people of England who would like to keep control of them is quite absurd, because that is not true. Now, I fully accept that Northern Ireland has not as yet expressed the will to leave the United Kingdom. In Wales, only around 30% of people seem to support independence. But in Scotland, despite the problems that the SNP has had, and they undoubtedly have had their fair share over the last year or so, support for independence has remained strong at around 50% of the population. Evidence is that when there was last the vote for independence, that support increased significantly during the campaign. So there is a very strong part of opinion in all these places that London is not the place from which they wish to be ruled. And yet, if you ask people in England, what do they think about this? It's always, well, they're part of the country. Give them devolution, make them regional authorities, a bit like make Yorkshire independent. Let me just use that example, because Yorkshire does have a population which is, well, actually bigger than that of Wales, if I remember correctly, and most certainly a lot bigger than that of Northern Ireland, and not different from the population of Scotland. Yorkshire is, however, not a country. It's a county. It's fundamentally different. And I know that the people of Yorkshire think it's God's chosen county, but it isn't. Nowhere on earth is God's chosen, and nor has Yorkshire got any strong legal, educational, economic or other association based on history that gives it an identity that recognises that it is a country, unlike Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. So there is no comparison between regional policy and the policy that is required for these places. We need a grown-up debate in England on this issue, because people in England need to understand that their right to, in my opinion, colonise Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland has to come to an end. The history of empire is over. These places might have been willing participants in empire in their day, but they are no longer. So why is it we keep this concept when in practice there are 4 countries that make up the United Kingdom, and 3 of them are not convinced of their future within it? England, take note. It's time to face a future on your own. And what's wrong with that?